Hey everybody, Sean Zinsmeister here from the Google Data Cloud team. If you're a DBA, you know how painful it is to go spelunking into your raw system logs in the terminal to find out what happened with your application. This can take hours. That's why we're really excited to release our Looker block for AlloyDB. With just a few clicks from the Looker marketplace, it models your system tables in AlloyDB using LookML, giving you instant, secure operational intelligence right out of the box. It comes equipped with a lot of Gemini power as well to make some of this analysis an absolute breeze. So let's take a look at a brief overview of what you get in the Looker block for AlloyDB. So first, you get the pre-built dashboard here for performance overview. So think of this as your real-time database speedometer. So you can take a look, you can understand your cache hit ratio, in this case showing that it's almost entirely in memory. And over here, you can see we've got our DML intensity. So you immediately see this is heavily read-skewed workload, instant visibility without writing any SQL. And of course, our dashboard summary right here can be summoned with just a click. So Gemini can tell us all the important stuff in just a few seconds. Okay, let's now shift over to our bottleneck analysis. All right, so what we've got here is that LookML is automatically categorizes workload patterns for you. So it's separating high frequency transactional queries from slow resource heavy analytical ones. If we scroll down here, we've got a number of really useful visualizations and tiles here where we've got our query inspector. And over here, you can actually go ahead and see that we've got almost 89 gigabyte temporary space spill causing huge disk in our IO overhead. So LookML isolates the exact query signature that's causing this issue, like unindexed count operations, while automatically masking sensitive parameters for security. And it's really easy with just a click. I can even see the top 5 for the spillover right here with just a click. So super easy. I can explore further. I can download the data if I want. I have a lot of flexibility for what I can do here. And also, again, with just a click, Gemini gives me a summary of all the important stuff so I don't miss a beat in just a matter of kind of a quick look. So I get an at-a-glance analysis, super, super fast, super, super easy. Okay, and finally, you also are going to get the pulse trends. So operational intelligence isn't just about real-time firefighting, it's about long-term capacity planning. So here we can track a 7-day historical trend and attribute CPU usage directly between Looker reporting queries and native application workloads so you can drive strategic resource allocation. All right, let's get to some fun stuff. All right, so let's go back to our performance overview here. So, in this dashboard, we're obviously immediately synthesizing your executive key takeaways. I showed you the summary, but what's great here is that you can also continue the conversation as well. Not only ask about my top takeaways, I can also switch my model between if I want fast answers or if I need to enter for thinking mode, switch to fast. And you might just have a high level questions like app seems to be running slow today. Like what could be the reason for the poor performance? And our agent is going to go ahead and break down this analysis. And it's going to walk me through everything. At any point in time, I can actually understand behind the scenes how the agent is thinking and really start to understand. So no black box AI. And of course, it gives me an instant performance diagnostic summary. That's really great. And of course, I can continue the conversation further as well. All right. So of course, we can also do this with our bottleneck analysis as well. So let's go ahead and switch over to this tab. Super easy and useful for me to be able to say, hey, maybe we'll stay in thinking mode for just a moment. What are the queries that are contributing most to temporary space spill and disk IO overhead? This is great because maybe you don't even want to scroll down to the board. You can see it visually, but you can also ask the agent to go explore this, and it'll give you an analysis. Again, I love the fact that it's going to kind of walk through its thinking process using the latest Gemini model. Super, super efficient, and it's going to go ahead and give me this analysis too. Really, really rich in how it kind of provides these answers. It's going to break down each and every query too. So at any point I can go jump off into one of these various explorers. So it's really easy to do data exploration and discovery with just a click. Thinking mode is going to take a few more seconds because we're going to perform a deeper analysis here. But as you can see, it's going to go ahead and summarize the answer. You can switch to table mode really at any point to see what it found, if anything, sometimes in this case. And then it's going to go ahead and provide me a very detailed answer of the top queries here. I can sift through and start to analyze and then take action on. Okay, and finally, well, let's go ahead and we'll switch over to bring it all home to compare. Let's go ahead. We were talking about CPU usage. Let's go ahead and now switch over to fast mode again. This would be a quick one. We want to compare CPU usage generated by Looker versus native application queries over the last 7 days. So it's even really easy for you to do comparative analysis. You can use this to drill deeper into the application. And again, I love the fact that it's going to go ahead and break down the queries, because I love that kind of breadcrumb that the agent gives me with all these different explorations, because as a DBA, I just now have all of these really easy jumping off points for me to go be able to, in this case, like really understand long-term planning, dive into the analysis. Very, very accessible and super easy as well. And speaking of super easy, all of this out of the box can be generated with just a few clicks. So let me actually show you. So if we go over here, if you're in your Looker environment, you will notice we have this awesome thing called the Looker Marketplace. Looker Marketplace, I can discover and manage all of my blocks. So here we are. Just search for AlloyDB. Here it is. This blue button will just say, go ahead and install it. It walks you through a very, very quick install process, and I can manage it, and it gives you kind of a quick preview of all the things that we talked about today, as well as the version release notes and so much more. So all of this, just a few clicks, you can launch this and start to analyze your AlloyDB data with just a few clicks. Thanks so much for listening, and per usual, let us know what you think.